This video is a book review of Start With Why by Simon Sinek. In 2009, author Simon gave a TED Talk called How Great Leaders Inspire Action. It's a 17-minute video which I have linked here, and it gives you a good idea of what is conveyed through this book. Now, why isn't just a small word? It's a concept in itself. In this book, Simon Sinek explains why organizations guided by this concept will succeed more than those which aren't. The entire book showcases one factor that separates inspiring leaders from everyone else. This book consists of 14 chapters, and we won't get into detailed review of each chapter. Sinek uses Apple and Steve Jobs as examples repeatedly throughout the book, and even in his TED Talk, he says that he uses the example of Apple because everyone understands it. Now, in my opinion, if he was writing this book in 2022, maybe he would have used some other example, but let's talk about that later. The book starts by giving an analogy of the type of leaders. That is, there are two types of leaders. One, who decide to manipulate to get to the end result, and the others who start with the end result or goal in mind and let everything else follow through. Then he talks about how businesses manipulate their customers and explains why manipulation may help in the short term, but for the long-term profitability, the company needs to get out of this cycle of playing with their customers. Coming to the core of his book is what is called Golden Circle. The Golden Circle consists of three elements, that is, what, how, and why. The what is what every organization, or for simplicity, what every individual does. The how is, of course, how they do it. And most importantly, the why, that is the purpose of why we do what we do. All the examples of success that Simon states are directly related to their why. That is, people who are clear of why they do what they do are successful. On the other hand, unsuccessful people or organizations are what driven. Now, how can this concept help you and I? You may not be the CEO of a company at present, but certainly you're the CEO of your own life. So let's take a minute and think about what you do every day and then why you do it. For example, you said, I'm a student and I study all day long. Or I'm a professional analyst and I analyze data all day long. Now, doing what you do is easier to answer, but why you do it may not be that easy. That's the outside-in approach, and according to him, that's not the right approach. Going further, he says that when we start with the why, we go from the inside out of the circle. For a company, the why is the reason for customers to buy, and what it represents the tangible products as a proof of that belief. Let's break it down a notch and take an example from everyday life. Let's say you ask a kid to study. He might not drop everything then and there and get down to studying. But if you ask the same kid, hey, do you want to be successful? He'll say, yes, I want to be successful. Then if you teach him how to study, say mathematics, his interest will further be developed, and then you can tell him, okay, you can study R.D. Sharma or R.S. Agarwal, and the kid actually might go ahead and do the exact thing which you asked him to do. So what did we do here? We gave the kid a why, that is, do you want to be successful? Went on to how, that is, study mathematics like this, and then told him exactly what to do, that is, go ahead and read this particular book. And that approach worked. So what Simon is trying to say that our thought process in general should be from the inside out. That is, starting from the why, going to the how, and then the what. And this is exactly what drives customers to buy the products or consume the services for the organizations which are clear about their why. Simon also talks about clarity, discipline, and consistency in one of his chapters, which to me are essential elements of everyday work and life. And the concept of consistency is definitely one of the most important concepts to achieve anything. You cannot have a salad one day, do 50 crunches the next day, and expect to have washboard abs on the third day. You'll have to consistently work for weeks and months to get that fat out and muscle showing. That's exactly what consistency is about. You start with the clarity of why, follow through with the discipline of how, and then the consistency of what comes into place. Moving further, one of the best articulated segments for me in the book was the piece where Simon explains the difference between achievement and success, And I, for one, really needed to understand the conceptual difference between them because the last almost 2 years have been pretty bad for me in terms of health. And I had been a little dejected and I was completely undermining my success. So, what is the difference? Success is a pursuit of a worthy goal. Conversely, achievement is the attainment or the accomplishment of a goal or purpose. Now, Simon explains that the achievement is something that you reach or attain, like a goal that is tangible, defined, and measurable, whereas success is a feeling or a state of being. And after reading that segment alone, I felt that the time I had invested in this book had been fruitful. He also talks about law of diffusion of innovation, the adaptation cycle, and some other marketing and psychology concepts. I won't touch upon those here. I'll only tell you about the part that was best for me, and that was staying true to your purpose. He says, and I quote, "All organizations start with a why, but only great ones keep their why clear year after year." And in the recent times, I can think of one organization which seems to have forgotten their why, and probably that's the reason why they're not able to see the desired growth, and their share price is also sort of tanking. And that organization is this one right here. Now, Meta started off as Facebook, and alongside Facebook, it has other products like WhatsApp and Instagram. And if you remember, Facebook's tagline was, or still is, Facebook helps you connect and share with people in your life. Now, I'm not saying that WhatsApp and Instagram aren't doing the same thing, but Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all of them have also become marketplaces. And let's take a particular example, which is pretty popular in our times, that is Instagram. Instagram initially started as a photo sharing app. It evolved into a video sharing app as well with IGTV. And then IGTV was abruptly shut down and Reels was launched. And Reels is now having a pretty hard time competing against TikTok. Instagram is promoting Reels as something for creators and small businesses rather openly, thereby negating their original vision that is helps you connect and share with the people in your life. They are competing against TikTok and not trying to improve their own features and services. Maybe they are, but that's not apparent enough. What is apparent from their marketing team and spokespeople is that they are trying to position themselves for creators and influencers and even for the TikTok audience. Now, in no way am I undermining the success of Meta or Zuckerberg. Meta is a highly influential organization, and Mark Zuckerberg is an accomplished business leader. My critique, or rather, I'd say an observation, was just in reference to the concept of this book, Start With Why. What's the key takeaway for an individual like me, or for, say, someone who wants to venture into the startup world from this book? It is that when you're up against the world, competing with everyone else, no one wants to help you. Or when you're competing against yourself, everyone wants to help you, and you are, in fact, your best competition. The only thing which you need to remember is you should know your purpose and you should know why you're doing what you're doing. Right? I love to learn from other people, and it was, in fact, a book summary from another YouTube channel called Fight Mediocrity, linked here, which inspired me to pick up this book and read it till the end. That was it from my end this time. Let me know if you have any suggestions for books for me, or if you came here from my Instagram, let me know which books you'd like me to review next. And also do share your review on this book, especially if this review inspired you to read it. Until next time, take care and keep learning.